All right, this episode of the Steak and Potatoes podcast is unofficially brought to you by Jersey Subs, fueling us so we can talk about things into a microphone.
Yes. May the 5th be with you.
Is that today? Or no,
It's
yesterday.
May 5th.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So, Cinco de Mayo. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So much to talk about. I think we should start with video games since I've played less video games than things I've watched recently.
Yeah,
I'm still playing Bloodborne.
of course.
I am 4 bosses and 1 ending away from platinuming that game.
What ending do you still need?
The one where you fight Gurman, but don't fight the Moon Presence. And then it makes you the new caretaker of the Hunter's Dream or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
You
the one.
become the Gurman.
Yeah. That's the one ending I don't have. And my character is currently on New Game Plus 2, so once I get that, I'll be on Plus 3, and then I just gotta finish up the end of the Chalice Dungeon I'm in now, and then the one after that. And I will be done with that game. I probably not. I'll be playing that game for the rest of my life until Bloodborne 2 happens.
Yeah. If it happens.
Yeah, it probably won't. Whatever it was they teased at the PlayStation Experience is probably something else, but I can hope it's Bloodborne 2.
Yeah. You're within your rights.
Yep. And what else have I done? Oh, I played Metal Gear Survive. I picked that up on the Xbox One.
Thought I heard that. I think I heard that game wasn't all that great.
I disagree. I mean, it's the Metal Gear they made after Kojima left Konami,
Yeah.
so it's not going to be as great with him directing it, but it's still a pretty solid game. And if you want a hard as fuck survival game, that game will hook you up, man. The first few hours of that game are brutal.
Yeah.
My character was constantly dying of,
Dysentery.
probably whatever you get for drinking unpurified water. Because, like, the 3 things you have to manage in that game is your hunger, your thirst, and your oxygen levels. Because there's big parts of the map that are basically covered in the mist from the mist.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Once you get past the first couple hours, though, that game is... I think it's great. It's one of those games that can pull the rug out from under you real fast, but not in a way that feels like it's just deliberately trying to fuck you or bad game design. Like, I finally got to the point where I could purify my drinking water, and there's a watering hole, like, right next to your base. But once you progress so far into the game, that watering hole fucking dries up. So, like, I got there, I had my base set up, I finally had, like, a decent food line and, you know, water purification station. I'm like, alright, well, I need to go fill up my canteen so I can go venturing out into the mist. And I walk over to the watering hole and it's fucking gone. I'm like, the fuck am I supposed to do now?
Lovely.
But thankfully, when you unlock the fast travel system, you can teleport to various places around the map. And there's a watering hole right near one of those fast travel stations. So it didn't fuck me as bad as I thought it did, but I'd been relying on that same watering hole for God knows how long since I've been playing that game, and then suddenly it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend, I think it's like, it wasn't a full-priced game, so I don't feel ripped off
good.
by it, but it's definitely a game that's meant to be played co-op multiplayer, but you can do it single player, like I've been doing it because my internet's kind of shit.
Yeah.
But if you like survival games, I think you'll like Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, it seems like one of those games that, like, I don't know, you either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of people who have legit gripes about the game and are like, this game is shit because of these reasons. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, for me, State of Decay, where there's plenty of people who like it,
Yeah.
but I fucking loved the first game, and people would complain about all the pop-in and everything. It's like, yes, it looks like shit, and that's a legitimate complaint.
Yeah.
But, and like, shit gets glitched all the time, and that's annoying, but I still just fucking loved that game. Like, I'm very aware that it's a shit game.
Yeah.
And I get why people would be annoyed with it, but I still just loved it. Kind of like Dead Island as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, who
yeah.
do you voodoo, bitch?
Yeah, the main gripe I have with Metal Gear Survive is, even if you're playing it solo, like I am, you still have to be connected to their servers. So, like, when I got it, I was still house sitting, and I had even worse internet, so I couldn't play it because I couldn't really connect to the internet and get the servers up and running.
That's fucking annoying when they make a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it with some games, but like what's that one where you're all damn it, I can't remember the name. You're fighting with swords and stuff.
Oh, For Honor.
Yeah, For Honor. Like, I get it with a game like that
Yeah.
if you mostly need, because it's mostly just a multiplayer game. Or like, well, Destiny you don't have to be, but I don't know. There's certain games that are kind of just made for that one purpose, and so I get it with those.
Yeah. But there's no reason you should have done that with a Metal Gear game. I got God of War, and I beat it.
Yeah?
Dude, that game, man.
I've only heard good things.
Yeah, I feel like I had a gripe with the game, but now I can't think about it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I've just heard that it's amazing.
You can tell it took them 5 years to make. Like, in my entire time playing that game, I haven't encountered, like, a single glitch.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes are amazing because, you know, Teal'c from Stargate is now Kratos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they switched out characters, and I think it was for the better. Like, I like the guy they had, T.C. Carson, back when Kratos was just, you know, rage-fueled hate monster. And he does those types of characters really, really well. Like, he was in Afro Samurai, now that I think about it. He was Afro's former master, the guy who taught him the way of the sword, and Afro killed him to get the headband.
Yeah.
Yeah, so incredibly good. Like, I don't know what else I can say about the game that hasn't already been said, so I'm just full spoiler warnings right now. You mentioned the fact that you weren't really a fan of the fact that the only thing you seemed to get was the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Like, you have 4 main methods of combat, one of which is incredibly spoilery. You have your axe, you have your bare hands, you have your kid who shoots different kinds of arrows, and about halfway through the game, Kratos gets his Blades of Chaos back.
Oh, okay.
And there's not a whole lot that they do. Like, you have a light attack, a heavy attack, some kind of ranged option, and that's really about it. But it's the way you can utilize all of those things, like, in tandem, is what makes the combat good. Like, for the first quarter of the game, I didn't even use the axe as my main weapon. Like, one of the things you can do is, if you heavy throw the axe, it'll freeze an enemy in place.
Yeah.
So, I'd, like, walk into a mob, and I'd be like, that one guy in particular looks like trouble. I'm gonna freeze him in place. And then just use my bare hands to beat the hell out of his homies. And that worked well with my build, because you get your super rage mode, like, within the first 10 minutes of the game. Yeah. And it gets filled up per hit. So your fists don't hit as hard as your axe do, but they hit more often. And they also build up stun, which is one of the status effects enemies get. So, like, when you fill up their stun meter, you can do, like, a quick-timey event kill, you know, Kratos rip somebody in half kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which also fills up your rage meter. So I'd freeze a guy, build up my rage meter, and then if necessary, I'd unfreeze him and then beat him to death with rage mode.
Yeah. I know just from what I've heard my coworkers talking about, there's big shield guys that are good to freeze, or you gotta attack them from the back or something.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
Yeah, they're apparently cunts. Chris was saying, yeah, he just went into rage mode every time, and he came across one of them.
Yeah, if they're talking about the same shield guys that I think, they're guys that carry big two-handed, like, Dark Souls swords, and they wear their shields on their back. So
yeah, that's it.
You can't attack them from behind, you have to get them from the front, which is where their big fucking Dark Souls sword is. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a challenge. I was stupid and decided to play on hard mode my first time through, because I'm like, I played God of War. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I mean,
very different game.
I beat it, but I was starting to wish I'd played it on normal.
I've heard it's almost Dark Souls-y with the combat and stuff, even though it's not as difficult, obviously, but
I'd almost say it's more fluid than Dark Souls. Like,
Dark Souls is kind of clunky.
yeah, like Kratos is, despite his size, he's a very agile guy, and you can tank. You have a shield which goes with your unarmed attacks, and you can like block and parry and shit. But the way I was playing, it's better to dodge. Like,
Yeah.
just Bloodborne it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's some enemies where parrying is a good thing, like the fucking optional Valkyrie fights.
Yeah.
Ugh, those are rough if you're just trying to dodge all the damn time.
I did hear about, spoiler alert, I did hear about the fight with Thor's two sons.
Oh, God.
Where you kill one of them and the other one just breaks down and starts crying, and then you kill him.
Yeah, that boss fight was a pain in the ass. You had to put them both into a stun state at the same time to end that fight.
Yeah.
It's like you'd get one down, and then they'd have a full stun bar, and it would start decreasing. And then if you didn't get the other one down, they would just like resurrect with I think like 20% of their life back.
Yeah.
And yeah, on hard, man, fuck that fight. Easily my least favorite boss fight of the game, despite the fact that it was actually really cool. But it was, I had shit gear at that point because I didn't look into like the upgrading system much.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what gear I wanted because people had told me about it. They're like, yeah, there's this armor set that you get that gives you, like, passive life regeneration. I'm like, that's the one I want. I'm gonna get that. So I was just trying to bum rush my way to where you could get that. So I neglected my other gear except for my axe. Don't neglect your gear. It's a bad fucking idea. It's a very Destiny-ish kind of leveling system. Like, you get experience, but that experience is spent in the skill trees purchasing new shit. You don't actually level up your stats. Your gear does it for you. So it's like your light level in Destiny.
Well, I've been playing Dragon Ball Fusions on the 3DS.
Nice.
It's really good. It's very addicting. You basically make your own character. There's 5 races. There's like there's Saiyans, Namekians, like off-worlders, aliens, and another one.
Human?
Human, yeah. And it's you build up your team, which you're a team of 5, and you get to fly around the map and stuff. It's neat. And you'll get into battles, and in the battles, it's almost like kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Where you're on a field, and it'll have like a ring around, and you can ring out people.
Nice.
If they live through the attack, they can still come back in though. But you have like key attacks, and different races, and different people are better at different things.
Sounds a lot like Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
No, because you don't do a lot of actual like moves.
Oh, right,
and stuff.
yeah.
It's kind of turn based.
Oh, okay, right.
Like there's a bar at the bottom, almost like Final Fantasy, where
Gotcha. Okay.
But you can like knock a guy into your other team members and stuff, and they'll fuck him up too. Or there are times where you can use special moves where you'll actually, it's pretty much just a button masher at that point, but you'll go into a little 3D world and be punching at them or knocking them with key attacks, and it's really neat. You get different energies based on, you basically want to have one of every race in your party, because you get different energies from that, and that allows you to take down shields outside. But the fusion part is the cool part. You can do a 5-man fusion.
Oh, God.
So, which always just makes you into this fucking Greek god. Which, it seems like it changes by who you have in your party, because if I have, even with the people that I've been sticking with in my party, they'll still change from time to time. Kind of, they'll look a little bit different based on who's in your party, which is kind of neat. But yeah, real good, real addicting game. Like the combat and stuff is really just good, fluid, simple, easy to know what you're doing. There are battles, however, kind of like that God of War boss fight, where, like, when you fight Tien and Chaozu, you fight them, and Tien has, like, he makes 4 copies of himself.
Yeah.
So it's 4 of him and Tien, and you can't knock out... You can't kill any of them unless you kill them all at once. Otherwise, they come back with completely full health.
Oh.
Which is a bitch, but with the 5-man fusion thing, it's not that hard, because when you do that, you have an area of effect attack. Anybody in the area of the person you're going to use it on is caught in it. So you kind of got to knock them all together and then use the fusion thing and get them, which is not all that simple. It can be a bitch when you have to do that, because there'll always be one random guy sitting at the fucking corner, and it's just a fucking pain in the ass. Luckily, I've got Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, so...
Nice.
Or Vegito. I've got Vegito, not Gogeta. The opposite.
Yeah.
But, so he helps with, like, his melee is through the fucking roof, so it's really... It makes it easier. But at the same time, you don't get to really... With melee attacks, you don't get to, like, choose where you're doing it. And when you use melee attacks... When you use melee attacks, you do this thing, you go up and you're like smacking at him, and then there's a little ring around the dude, and you gotta choose the area where you hit him from, and they can block it. You'll still hurt them, but it will be very minimal, and there won't be much knockback.
Yeah.
And it's the same when they attack you, you have to try and block it. And it's really... It seems pretty much random. There were like times where I'm like, okay, he's probably coming from this way. Okay, got the block. But there's also, like, if you hit them, like, say they're blocking completely to the right, and you hit them from the left side, that's going to do a shitload more damage than if you hit them from, like, a notch up above the left side. It'll still be a hit, but it won't be a perfect hit.
Right.
I don't remember what they call it, but yeah, in any case, great game. Really, really addictive and just good. Very much enjoy it. You can recruit a shitload of people to your team so that you can always switch your team up whenever you want. Like, my team is not all of my strongest guys because I want someone from every race so I can be getting that energy.
Yeah.
But because yeah, I've got like I've got Goku Black, and this was just shit they gave me. They just gave me Vegito, blue-haired Vegito, and they gave me Goku Black, and then they gave me blue-haired Goku Black, and like Super Saiyan Trunks, and just all these fucking dudes. That it was like, once I was able to switch my team up, it was like, well, I guess I'll use these guys. They're way better than everyone.
Yeah. That
was before I kind of realized the energy thing. Because every enemy team is different as well. They have different colors. There's also like a 3-way type system. There's a lot to it. But after a few hours playing it, you kind of get it.
Yeah.
It takes a minute, but yeah, great game.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, they confirmed the 2 new DLC characters for Dragon Ball FighterZ.
What is it?
Super Saiyan Blue Vegito and Fused Zamasu. Which, it's from Super, and as far as I know, Zamasu is this really powerful dude from, like, Goku's main universe. And Goku Black is Zamasu, who had taken over Goku's body in a different universe after he'd obtained, like, Divine Ki or something like that. So it's basically...
So he Captain Ginyu'd him?
Yeah,
okay.
But, like, better.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, those two, like, apparently meet up, and, like, Zamasu fuses with Goku Zamasu into, like, a fucking super being. Huh. So it's a fusion of Goku Black and Zamasu, and... Like, as cool as Vegito Blue is, like, I have no doubt that he's just going to be just probably broken with how good he is, I imagine, because that's how it is. But Fuse Zamasu is a flight type character, which I'm trying to think of someone to compare him to in fighting games. He'd be like a Magneto or a Doctor Doom from like Marvel vs. Capcom. Like you can jump and dash and all that, but he can actually like control where he goes around the screen. Like,
I know what you mean when you say Magneto, but I think you meant Magnetus.
Yeah, Magnetus.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah, so somebody who can just float wherever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Chris at work, he bought it for Wii U, and then he got a Switch, and then he bought it for the Switch. So he was like, "Here, you need to play this. You can have this. 'Cause I've got another copy."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh shit, thanks, dude." But
I've heard many great things about that game too.
yeah, I've only played a couple hours. There's plenty I don't like about the game already, just from hearing about it, like the weapon degradation. Like even the Master Sword, when you get it, you can use it for so many hits, and then it has to charge for 5 minutes, which is stupid. Like when you get the Master Sword, that you should just be able to use the Master Sword. Like it's a Master Sword.
Yeah.
You know, but with it being so open world, so I did the first little dungeon thing and got the magnetic power, and the dude's like, he said he was gonna give me the glider thing after I did that, but he's a fucking liar and a cheat. So he was like, "Nope, actually do 3 more, asshole. Haha, you're gay." And so I've got to find, I know where the other 3 are, it's just getting to them. So one of them was up, I had to go through like these mountains, which were cold, and I didn't know how to cook or anything yet, and like I had no idea what was happening in the game. So apparently you can find the king guy in a little hut, and you can get a woven cloak, or you can cook peppers and eat them to keep you warm while you go through there. But there's also 2 other ones, which I didn't know that at the time. So I spent like 2 hours basically just running along the edge of the map, not finding dick, just trying to find a way to fucking get to these places, and couldn't find a way, and so I got frustrated and haven't played it since. But
yeah,
there are obvious ways to do the things. It's just it's such a huge open world that I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, there's no markers, there's no, I don't know. I'm probably being stupid, is the thing. But I don't know. My free time is so valuable nowadays that, like, I don't want to just run around for 2 hours not fucking finding anything. That, like, I want to be, feel like I'm accomplishing things, and I accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
And so it was annoying.
That was one of the same issues I ran into with Metal Gear Survive, when my character got sick from drinking dirty water. Like, they drop you in the map, and it's just like, you can go wherever the fuck you want, pretty much. So I'm like, alright, I need to go find some clean water or a way to purify my water. So I'd be running all around the mist, and I'd find a bunch of cool shit. I wouldn't find a way to get clean water, and finally I just got so fed up, I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's tied to story progression.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Great.
Thanks. All this cool shit I found, but I'm gonna die of fucking dysentery because I don't have clean water.
Alright, well, the elephant in the room. Avengers.
Whoa. We gotta save that for the end. We got other shit to talk about first if we're moving on to TV shows.
I mean, I feel like we can talk about Avengers for an hour.
Yeah, which is why we're going to save it for the end of the show, because that's more content, right?
All right, fair enough.
All right, so I watched Black Lightning, which is a new DC show that's on Netflix. That's in the same universe as, like, you know, The Flash and Green Arrow and shit. That might be my favorite DC show yet, next to Legends of Tomorrow. It's like a better Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Luke Cage was bad.
It wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it, but Black Lightning took everything Luke Cage was trying to do and did it better.
Yeah.
Like, the show, like, Black Lightning, he's an oldman. He's like middle-aged at this point, and
his name's Gary.
What is his name? Oh, right, his name's Jefferson actually, but we can call him Gary
because he's Gary Oldman.
No. Unless Gary Oldman is like a 6'4", ridiculously buff black dude, which he's got the chops to play it. I'm not saying
he's a great actor. He could pull it off.
Yeah. But no, like at the point when the show starts, Black Lightning, he's retired. He's given up the superhero life. He's a principal of a high school, and he's doing that thing you see a lot in movies like Coach Carter, where he's in a shit area, but he's trying to make everything better. And
don't say the N-word around me.
Funny enough, they don't shy away from that. They say Negroes, but they never say the actual derogatory N-word. Like, I was kind of shocked they actually did that. You don't hear that much on TV, especially in like a TV-14 TV show. But yeah, he's old, he's retired, he's actually doing good for his community. Like, he's nationally well known for like this school he established that helps kids from like poor neighborhoods with all their stuff.
Yeah.
So like you don't even get his origin story until like halfway through the show. They're like, all right, he's a retired superhero. He shoots lightning bolts. That's all you need to know. Here's a show.
Yeah.
So like it winds up, his daughters get in trouble, and he has to like take up the mantle of Black Lightning again to go save them from gangsters and stuff like that. It's really good because it's really well done, and I actually like care about the characters. Like with the Flash, I like the Flash. I didn't give a shit about the Flash in that show for the longest time.
I hate that show, but
yeah,
you know.
But like I would highly recommend just drop whatever you're watching right now on Netflix. Go watch Black Lightning. It's a fucking good show. And the villain, in my opinion, is the best part. They got a rapper to play the villain, which normally I'm kind of like, when people jump franchises like that. Like, for every, like, Rock and John Cena you also get movies starring the Triple H's of...
50 Cent fucking...
Yeah.
Shit.
But the guy they got is playing the villain. His name's Tobias Whale, and he's an albino black dude in the comics. And they actually found an albino African American to play this guy. His name's Marvin Jones III. I think he goes by the rapper name like Crondon or something like that.
Crondon.
Yeah. I don't get it.
That's a made-up word.
Yeah, but he's actually like an albino black man who raps.
Black man.
Like, I looked him up, and I don't think he's been in a lot of, like, TV shows or anything like that. He mostly stuck to rapping, but, dude, he fucking killed it in Black Lightning. He did an amazing job. And, he looks weird, because he's got, like, you know, the physical features of a black man, but he's almost as white as I am as far as skin tone goes.
Yeah. That always does look a bit wonky.
Yeah.
I mean, even albino white people look wonky, but...
Yeah, no, but he's, like, damn, killed it. I love Black Lightning. It's such a great show.
Yeah.
Like, you get the superhero action of, like, you know, the Flash and Green Arrow and all that shit, but they also focus heavily on, like, the personal lives of these people. Like, Black Lightning, he was divorced from his wife because she couldn't take him coming home every night, like, beaten and stabbed and shot. She's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't see you like this. We're getting a divorce. So it starts off the show with like him trying to like fix his marriage and be a good parent to his kids and run a high school. Yeah. And you actually like see the toll of all of that stuff on him almost more than you see the toll of being a middle-aged superhero who's trying to get back into the game.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking cool show. I loved it.
That's neat. I've been watching Dragon Ball Super. I'm up, next episode is episode 51, so almost halfway through. I don't know what people's complaints are with it. Like, I fucking love it. Every time I turn it on, I end up watching, like, 5 to 10 episodes, so I get that the animation dips from time to time. It just doesn't bug me. Like, during the fights, the animation is always awesome, so...
Yeah, that's probably where most of their money went.
Yeah, that's all I don't know. I really enjoy it. But also, the other day, Miranda and I watched about 8 hours worth of Steven Seagal's Lawman.
Nice.
Him just policing the streets and knowing everything about everything and never being wrong and being super cringy, and it's fucking...
Yeah.
It's one of the best shows that there is. Like, him just... Like, anytime people question any little bullshit he says, he just comes back with some ridiculous explanation, and it just makes no sense. At one point, he's comparing being a police officer to being a sword, and he's like sat there with a sword cutting bamboo and stuff, and like he just looks ridiculous. He's just this old fat dude because he's like in his 60s.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, people from time to time recognize him and are like, "Hey, you're Steven Seagal." It's always black people. It's always black people. There's been like 3 white guys they've arrested in the show. Every other one's black, and I don't know if that's just because that's how it is there in Louisiana, or if the show's... I don't know. I don't want to touch on that. But the best thing is, he'll sit there, and there's a great comedian who like made me want to watch it. I forget the dude's name, but he talked about the show too. And he's completely right when he said Steven Seagal will sit there, like when he's talking to a black guy, he'll put on like a black guy voice and use like black guy lingo. So he'll be like, "Hey, what's going on, brother?" And shit, like, be like, "All right, cool, man, just making sure everything's lit around here," you know, like, he starts talking like that, and it's fucked up. Like, there's a very noticeable change. And then it's the same, like, when he's talking to, like, Mexicans, Spanish people, he'll just talk to them in Spanish, even though they know English. Like, he'll be sitting there being like, "Si, queso, burrito." And they're like, "Dude, I can fucking just talk to you in English."
So, I'm going to have to interrupt you right here with one question. Is Steven Seagal actually playing Steven Seagal?
No, he's legitimately a police officer. Like, he's a legitimate... He's a sheriff. Like, in this town in Louisiana. This is real.
Really?
100% real.
Wow. So
yes. So if you're in that town, like Ponte County, I don't remember them, but if you're in that town, you could potentially be arrested by Steven fucking Seagal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me this is on Netflix. Is this on Netflix?
I was watching it on Hulu, I think.
That's okay. I have Hulu too now.
It was on Hulu or Amazon. I don't remember.
Like, cause
I'm pretty sure Hulu. Yeah, it was on Hulu.
This show sounds fucking amazing.
It is. It's so good. It like.
Hey, Chris.
Like, while being cringy and everything, it's fucking hilarious.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, man. Welcome
Should have never shotgunned that Four Loko. I was fucking gone.
Welcome to the podcast. You just said that on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. I should have
Dogs.
never fucking shotgunned that Four Loko.
Yeah, wait, what happened? The police showed up at one point?
No fucking clue. Just ended up at home. That's all I know.
You back
Safely, mind you. My wife picked me up.
back to get your vehicle?
Actually, I can't get my boots.
I do not know of any boots.
Yeah, right there. Alright, hey, have a good one, guys.
Yep, you too, man.
See you, bud.
So, real Steven Seagal show.
Yeah, no, it's real. Like, he shows up. Some of the times I feel like they pick and choose, because he never does anything.
Yeah.
Like, they show that he's, like, a super good shot with a gun, and, like, he is. Unless it's faked really well.
Yeah.
But, like, it seems like he always shows up at the scene of the crime after everything has happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's very rare that while the dude is being apprehended, he's involved. Like, it's normally, like, they'll get a shot of him afterwards, like, holding the guy. And it's like, yeah, he's already got cuffs on him.
Yeah. Like, I personally don't know if I would allow 60-year-old action star Steven Seagal on, like, a SWAT team or something like that, but...
He is, though. He is.
Nice.
There was one, which was really fucked up. They were following... There was a dude driving on the wrong side of a one-way, and they're, like, kind of following, and then here comes all the traffic, and the dude was drunk as fuck, or something, and just nailed another fucking car, just head-on collision. Luckily, everybody in the other car was basically fine.
Yeah.
Like, I think one guy might have got, like, whiplash or something. But the drunk dude was fucked. Like, they had to jaws of life him out of the car. And, yeah, bad stuff. It's a rough thing to watch. Like, just, oh no. There was just a whole wave of cars coming. And he's just, yeah, this is fine. I'm just gonna drive right into this. But, yeah, Steven Seagal was first on the scene for that one. But, yeah, he always, like, tries to make connections within the community and stuff. So, like, there's one night, he always wants to, he legitimately wants to help. Like, he legitimately wants things to be better, which is sweet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there was one where one night they pulled over this group of black men because they were like, they're being suspicious. Yeah, let's go get them. And so they pull him over, and Seagal's talking with the dudes and everything, and because they were just walking, so they had them all put their hands up on the car and searched them. They didn't have nothing, so Seagal was like, "Hey, everybody on these streets selling drugs. Don't be one of them." He's sweating, and then the next night they find the same kid, and he's got like a shitload of crack on him. After he promised Steven Seagal he wouldn't sell crack and stuff. And then the next night, sure enough, they catch him with a bunch of crack. How can you promise poor sweet Steven Seagal something like that and then not follow through?
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about Black Lightning. That's actually one of the best aspects of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's retired and being a principal of Black Lightning, either he went to school with a lot of the local gangsters, or they were students of his that still wound up gangsters anyway. But like the way they did it, they did, I don't want to call it good, but they did gangstering safely. So like at one point, a gang member shows up at the school he runs and like threatened his daughter, but instead of just going Black Lightning and just electrocuting the guy, he actually like went down to the gang territory as a civilian and talked to the gang leader. He's like, "Look, man, I've had a functioning relationship with all the gangsters in this area, and we've all agreed that my school is a safe zone. Are you gonna deal with this?" And the gangster's like, "Yep, I'm sorry. Look, I'll take care of it. No need to worry. It won't happen again." And then he actually went and, well, he killed the guy. So that's not really good, but
that probably wasn't necessary. Maybe just a stern talking to.
Well, like you'd have to see the episode, but like the guy actually showed up and was planning to shoot Black Lightning's daughters at the school and basically cause a school shooting.
Why?
Like Black Lightning's youngest daughter went to a club because she was being a stupid teenager, as stupid teenagers are known to do, and she almost got killed. And like she met the guy who was going to shoot her, and they were like maybe going to hook up, and then he had to go talk to his gang leader, and the guy's like, "You owe me money. You're supposed to be making me money. Where's my money? Maybe I'm going to put your girl to work in like a whorehouse or something." And she's like, "I don't even know this guy. I just met him tonight." And then they got into an argument, and she straight up groin kicked the guy and then walked out. So
that pissed him off.
He was upset, and he goes to the school, and he's about to pull a gun, and Black Lightning runs out and basically like shoves the gun back into his holster and gives him like, "Look, man, are you gonna shoot these girls in front of the entire school? You're gonna go to jail for life with no chance of getting out if you cause a school shooting."
They might just put you down.
Yeah.
They probably will with the school shooting.
He actually said that. He's like, "Look, the cops are already on their way, and if you do this, they will shoot you for fun," because the police in that area they're corrupt white men, so...
Because the white man's terrible.
Yeah, man.
We are both,
terrible.
Yeah.
We've already established that, though, so, you know.
What is it called? Like, something evil. Basically that you're a born sinner.
Oh.
Born evil, like, just because we're white.
A bad seed? Maybe?
No. There's a specific term, I just can't think of it.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, the cops in Black Lightning's territory, they're all awful, because a bunch of them are on the take from this evil organization. There's a whole subplot involving like the cops and government, and it's not just white people. There's a bunch of African Americans who are also involved in all this bad shit that's going on. But yeah, it's
because all people have the capacity to be terrible.
Yeah,
like that's I don't know.
Yeah,
race doesn't matter. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. But yeah, good show, and I'm definitely gonna go check out Steven Seagal. And
Steven Seagal, Lawman. Lawman.
So speaking of cringy, I started watching Marvel's The Inhumans on Hulu.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, you need to understand that there's a difference between like a good show and an entertaining show.
No, that's Steven Seagal Lawman. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
I understand this well.
Like I've watched the first 3 episodes, and I can tell you it's definitely not a good show, but man, is it entertaining. Like the entire premise of The Inhumans is ridiculous to begin with. It's a bunch of mutants literally living on the moon. So like it's silly shit.
That's a habitable place.
Yeah, they left the planet because humans are
Don't
awful.
like mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, this fucking show, like, okay, the first mistake the Inhumans made was having Ramsay Bolton on their like ruling council. So like there's your first fuck up right there. You just know bad shit's gonna happen if he's there. And basically, Ramsay Bolton takes over the moon people because like they don't like Ramsay Bolton. There's this whole thing where like they have this caste system. Like, have you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all?
I watched a couple episodes and couldn't take it. It was just too bad.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this whole thing where
I hear it gets better, but
it like when Ghost Rider shows up is when it gets really good.
Oh, Nicolas Cage shows up?
Kind of. It's not Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, it's Robbie Reyes, the second Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider kind of shows up and basically gives Robbie Reyes his powers. And
Is it actually Nicolas Cage?
No.
Well, that's why the show sucks.
Like, you only see Johnny Blaze, like, once in that show, and he's in Ghost Rider form, so it's all CG, and the guy playing Robbie Reyes actually did the motion capture for Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford Nicolas Cage. I mean, have you seen that show? Come on.
Yeah, it's fuck awful.
Anyway, there's this whole plot where there's this substance, if you, like, touch it, it basically activates whatever mutant powers you might have. And that's how the moon race works. Like, when you're old enough, they expose you to this stuff and you get powers. And depending on what powers you get, it determines where you're put in society. And Ramsay Bolton, like, became... like, he mutated into a regular human. So, like, he's automatically, like, lowest man on the totem pole. But he's also the king's brother. So... a lot of people hate him because they're like, ugh, God, you're just a stupid Humie, but you're the king's brother.
Did they call him Humie?
No, they don't call him Humies. I wish they did. So nobody likes Ramsay Bolton, and because of that, Ramsay Bolton likes nobody. So naturally, he stages a plan to take over the moon race.
Cuts off some penises and...
yeah, pretty much.
Standard fare for a Bolton.
Yeah.
Gets some leeches put on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes over the moon race and basically kicks the main Inhuman characters off, and they... go to Earth because they want to escape, and the whole situation's fucked. And like it's not good storytelling, but the actors they have playing these people make it so fucking silly. Like the king of them, I'm just gonna call him the moon race because they're the moon race. Like he can't talk because his mutation is that his voice is like ridiculously powerful, and in a flashback he says one word and accidentally just straight liquefies his parents.
Oh.
Like, he's sitting there on the couch. I think his parents are arguing, and he just pops off, and you see the shockwave just hit these parents and just splatter red all over the wall.
Oh, no.
So he can't talk. Like, the one time he does talk in the episodes I've seen, he ends up getting tasered by the police and accidentally lets out a grunt that just straight up flips a fucking police car.
Yeah.
So this guy, he only talks in sign language and, like, facial expressions. And he has, like, Jim Carrey levels of facial expression. Like, you can tell what this guy's thinking and doing just by his face, and it's great. It's so good. But at the same time, the show is just shit. But I watch it anyway just because it's that entertaining. Like I said, I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but man, if you're looking for something to just brainlessly watch, just watch The Inhumans.
Yeah.
It's silly. And I also watched Marvel's The Runaways, which is a much better show. Like, by leaps and bounds, it's actually a good quality show. It's about these kids whose parents are pretty much supervillains. Like, they work for the guy who played Doctor Doom in the older, shittier Fantastic Four movies. And they eventually find out that their parents are in on this conspiracy that could basically wipe out California because Doctor Doom, that's why. And they find out about it, and some of them have powers, some of them don't, and they go on a quest to try and stop their parents, but they're stupid teenagers, so everything just gets kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And, like, I like the kids, but man, the parents are so good. There's a set of parents that you see literally in the first episode, and they're like scientist hippies almost. And they're talking to one of their daughters, and she's like, yeah, I know I've got a stomach ache and I don't feel good because she's finally starting to manifest superpowers. And her mom's just like, well, look, if you just start feeling sick, just, go to the bathroom, give yourself an orgasm. And the daughter's like, what are you talking about? And the mom's just like, look, it releases natural endorphins. They're painkillers. It's like natural aspirin. Just go masturbate. It's like, you really be saying that to like a 14-year-old girl? That's weird.
I mean, she's not completely wrong.
I mean, she's not, but
it's weird for that to be on a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, I could see...
Like, this...
I could see that conversation happening in real life. Like, I could see, like, Branda's mom...
Yeah.
Saying something like that.
No, it's not a kids show like The Inhumans or Black Lightning, technically. It was a made-for Hulu show, so there's like... They're throwing around curse words because they don't have to worry about the rating system. So it's for a bit more of a mature audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also a good show. And I think I've run out of things, so now we can talk about the Avengers.
Whee!
Oh, boy. You're right, man. Good fucking movie. Boom.
Yeah.
I had one worry going into it, and that worry was sadly justified. But at the same time, I don't see a way they could have done it better. Alright, I was mildly spoiled going into that movie because I've read the Infinity War comics and I knew people were going to die.
Oh, of course.
Like, full spoilers, a lot of motherfuckers die in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people. And I'm like, they're gonna kill off a bunch of people. And then Spider-Man died.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah, but the thing is...
I don't feel so good.
The thing is, I already know that Tom
Mr.
Holland...
Stark, no.
Yeah,
I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
It was very well acted. But sadly, I've already seen production photos of the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, well... We basically know that pretty much anybody taken out by the snap is...
Yeah.
That's going to be reversed.
Yeah, they're coming back, which Marvel painted themselves into a corner with that one because the way the media is nowadays, we already know a bunch of these characters are coming back for more movies anyway. Yeah. And they tried really hard to sell you on the fact that these characters were dying, and it was sad. Like, Spider-Man's death, like I said, super well acted, very well done. Supposed to be very hard-hitting, and a lot of people in the theater, like, gasped audibly when Spider-Man died.
It hurt me, and then I left the theater and was like, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's going to be back, so it makes it a lot less impactful.
Yeah, that was...
They aren't killing off Spider-Man after one movie. They aren't killing off Black Panther.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that Drax got killed.
Yeah.
I also just don't like... Drax is funny in the movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just the whole, you're a dude. This is a man.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Yeah. He's hilarious. Not at all like he is in the comics. Though.
No.
Like, Drax is ridiculous in the comics. He's specifically made to kill Thanos, basically.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, Thanos.
Thanos,
but, yeah, it did make the movie less impactful. Just
Yeah.
pretty much already knowing that none of these characters are going to be dead. But while I was watching it, it was very hard hitting while I was watching it.
Yeah.
Also, Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor
Yeah.
was fucking amazing.
Yeah. It took me a while to figure out why the Hulk wouldn't come out.
Yeah, I still don't know. Do you have a reason?
Yes, I do. He, the Hulk is, he's king of the fucking mountain as far as, Marvel is concerned.
Yeah,
you can't stop him. It's damn near impossible.
Yeah.
But he also got a straight-up, no-holds-barred beatdown from Thanos.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that freaked the Hulk out.
Yeah, maybe he was afraid.
That's not something the Hulk does. He's not afraid of anything, but then he got an ass-whooping like that, and he experienced fear for probably the first time in his existence.
Yeah, something like in Thor Ragnarok, when he just fucking attacks that big dude who's cleaving Valhalla.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. When they're like, oh, come on. He's like, but evil monster.
Yeah.
What?
I'm beat his ass.
What are we doing? I thought we were going to beat him up.
Yeah,
But
and then...
Thanos just knocked him the fuck out.
Yup.
Yeah. So that may be the reason.
Yeah, I really think it is. But, yeah, the one character that I didn't want to die in this movie did. And that's my other gripe. I really wanted Winter Soldier to survive the whole thing. He is by far my favorite, MCU character, next to War Machine, who thankfully survived.
Yeah, I think most of the people who died, besides, Drax,
Yeah.
are people who really can't help that much in the fight anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Infinity War, or Infinity Gauntlet, when, Captain Marvel comes in, or was it... Yeah, Captain Marvel reversed time with the Gauntlet, right?
I think
or was
so,
it Adam
yeah.
Warlock? I know Adam Warlock was the one who killed Thanos.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Spider-Man's just back, on the streets again and not a part of the final battle. Because how much can he really do when it comes down to it?
Yeah.
The heavy hitters all survived. Hulk will definitely come back at some point. Bruce didn't die, so
Yeah.
Hulk will be back. Thor is still kicking. Iron Man, a bunch of the heavy hitters are still there.
Yeah, speaking of Hulk, did you like how the trailers of the movie straight up lied to you? If you watched any of them? With, Hulk during that final
Hulk
charge?
charging in, yeah.
And he just wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they would do that, because if they showed just the Hulkbuster armor, you'd be like, oh, okay, Iron Man is in there.
Yeah.
Tony's in there. But, yeah, they did just lie about that.
Yeah. I mean, they also lied in the scene in the trailer where Cap tries to, stop Thanos by catching the gauntlet and only had 2 stones when he had, 5 out of 6 of them. I don't know, the trailer did a lot of lying. The line about Thanos having a smile on his face just wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
But, I think that's okay to do in this case, because there was so much media coverage of the movie that if you just made a trailer out of things that were in the movie, there probably wouldn't be any surprises left.
Also, Iron Spider suit was fucking amazing.
Yes, it was.
They they did the extra legs and everything. So fucking cool.
Yep.
And God, this new iteration of Spider-Man is so far and above what they've done before. He's just actually talking shit and making quips all the time.
Doing it properly this time.
Yes, it's fucking amazing. I just, almost every time he said something, I was just yay. They're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people, because, I don't know, the newest PewDiePie video yesterday, he's talking about how, Marvel films are bad and everything, and I feel like people who say that, it's kind of like the same people, they'll say it because, oh, they're nothing like the comics. Fuck off. You've never read a fucking comic then, idiot. But also, different universe.
Yeah.
Like my one buddy at work constantly he hates them because they're nothing like the comics. He doesn't read comics. He'll read like synopsis of a comic, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and it pisses me off every time. Like, he's got a fair knowledge of comics, but I feel like he's saying it just to be cool or something, or to be like, yeah, I know so much about the comics that these are nothing like it. It doesn't make sense. It's its own fucking universe, faggot. Like, god damn it. It's its own story. Like, they take elements from pre-existing stories. It's kind of like the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yes, it's a different story, but there's a lot of elements taken from the original works and stuff. But it's its own thing, so it can do what it wants. And it's cool. Same with the movies. Like, they're their own thing. They're using the characters. They aren't necessarily following a specific comic plot line.
Yeah, they're telling their own story, pretty much.
It's fucking ridiculous. People who say shit like that, like, a good way to let me know that you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to comics is to say you don't like the Marvel movies because they're nothing like the comics. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, so I have a question for you. Like, I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like I was missing out on a lot of the story of Black Panther. Like, why was Winter Soldier being a farmer? Like, because the last I saw of him, he was getting put in, like, cold storage at the end of, I think, Civil War. Like, did I miss much plot there?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was just doing his thing.
Yeah. Which, he had, I think, my favorite line of the entire movie when Black Panther showed up on his farm and, like, popped open the case and his arm was in there. All he said was, like, alright, where's the fight?
Yeah.
And then Black Panther's like, oh, don't worry, it's coming to us.
Yeah, it'll be here.
Yeah. But, yeah, my favorite scene was him and fucking Rocket Raccoon. Just out on the battlefield, he sees Rocket Raccoon, he just straight picks him up and holds him up while shooting his gun with the other hand. That was such a Marvel vs. Capcom thing for him to do.
Yeah. Thor calling Rocket Rabbit was also hilarious.
Dude, I almost lost my shit when Thor got his new hammer.
Yeah.
Because
he got Stormbreaker.
Yeah, because I am personally a huge fan of Beta Ray Bill from the Thor comics, and that was straight up Bill's hammer. Which, God, that made me happy. I'm like,
it was cool that the handle was like Groot's.
Yeah.
Roots.
Yeah, and that gave me hope that someday Beta Ray Bill might show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't think so.
Probably not, but like that was also his hammer from, you know, the Ultimate Comics with like the blunt end and the axe end, but you know, that was Bill's hammer before the comic.
In the Ultimate Comics, nobody really like believed in Thor.
Yeah.
They didn't believe he was a god, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the hammer was dope. But yeah, Thor calling Rocket Rabbit was hilarious. Although they kind of overdid it.
Yeah.
Like, because he called him that like 15 times, and it was like, okay,
does Thor
come on, we got the joke.
Does Thor not know what a raccoon is?
I think he just thinks his name is Rabbit or something. I don't know. Either way, it was funny. Yeah.
Also, giant Tyrion Lannister.
Yes. That was... Yeah.
That was...
This is a pretty good meme.
Yeah. Just... my wife even said in the theater, she's like, I'm so happy that the small person is actually like the biggest person in this universe now.
Yeah. He's a dwarf, but he's a giant.
He's a big fucking dwarf.
But in real life, he's a dwarf.
Yeah.
I think dwarf is the correct term.
Dwarf, midget, whatever.
I think midget is supposed to be offensive.
Probably.
I don't think they like being called midget.
Yeah, and I think their condition or whatever is actually called dwarfism.
Yeah.
I think. But man, somebody we ain't talking about, I really like how they did Thanos in this movie. He was not super megalomaniacal.
The reason for him doing everything made no sense at all.
Like, it did...
It didn't.
To him.
Yeah, but it didn't. Like
it
so in
wouldn't-
the comics, he's doing it for Death.
Yeah,
for Mistress Death.
He wants to bang Death.
And that makes sense. Here, it's because his people starved.
Well, all right.
Why not snap your fingers and make a shitload more food for everyone? Or snap your fingers and make extra planets where people could live and they can grow food there.
It makes sense from his point of view, because like he's literally called the Mad Titan. Like he is insane. Yeah. So like the logic of like the universe is not an infinite renewable resource. We got to cut down on numbers so it can last a bit longer or whatever. Like I see his logic, even though his logic is stupid, but at the same time he's also insane. So it makes sense from an evil, insane villain standpoint. But you're right. He could have just been like whatever, infinite food.
I don't know why they didn't include Mistress Death at all. Like that's a way better explanation, like than just hey, it's crazy. People starved.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it would require a lot more setup work. Like you would have to establish Mistress Death as an actual person in the Marvel universe, which
she'd be a very she wouldn't be around all the time. Like she wouldn't be just hanging out.
Yeah.
It could be like one after the movie scene that could just establish that hey, Thanos loves death.
Yeah, it would also if they did it that way, I think it'd almost be a cop out because you have 10 years worth of movie and Mistress Death herself has not even been alluded to in any of these. And then you could it'd feel like shoehorning her in if it was just a post-credit scene. It's like, oh yeah, Death. But
I mean, Thanos was only post-credit scenes.
Yeah, for a while,
until this movie.
Yeah, but he also had a lot more setup work. Like they set up the Infinity Stones, and they're like, there's this guy. He made Gamora and Amy Pond, whatever
made her
character. I forgot her name.
Wait, Amy Pond.
She blue robot chick.
Okay. Yeah.
That she's played by Amy Pond. So.
Okay.
There's that, and we've seen him in a couple of movies already, and even when he showed up, he didn't say jack shit about Mistress Death.
Yeah. I mean, just... They should have put a little bit more work into it if this is what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Is what I think. They should have... They should have established that he wants to do these things for Death or something, because... As it stands, to me, yes, your argument that he's the Mad Titan, he's insane, that works, but I feel like that's kind of a cop-out as well.
Yeah.
So it's just he's fucking crazy, he's gonna kill everyone.
And then there's also...
I guess, yeah, but...
There's also the bit that there's not really, magic in this universe. There's, all the mythological beings, like Thor and Odin, they're kind of firmly based in science, if you know what I mean. They're their own alien race, and all their shit. Even Doctor Strange, who is supposed to be a magician, all of his shit is explained.
Master of the Mystics.
Yeah, he's oh yeah, but he's drawing from this other dimension to power his shit, and he's warping reality. It's not really magic, it's just stupid advanced science. So then you'd have to have a way to science in the literal personification of death, which could be done. I don't know how it would be, though.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. We're nitpicking and everything right now. But
yeah.
Either way, even though I'm Thanos's reasons for doing what he's doing, that's the only thing that I didn't like about the movie. And I didn't even really care that much about it. It's just the only part of the movie that I'm that I can critique in any way, because all the rest of it I was this is just perfect. I'm happy.
Yeah. You couldn't... We only say it needs to be done better, but there isn't a way you really could without probably another 10 years worth of movies.
Yeah. So, good movie.
Yeah.
Great shit. It's right up there with Thor Ragnarok for me on my favorite Marvel movies. it's hard to put it over Thor Ragnarok, but I can't put it under it either.
Yeah,
so,
it's on the same level, I think.
With just Spider-Man doing his thing.
Spider-Manning.
That's my weak point. So
yeah. I would say there was not enough Winter Soldier in this movie, but that's just because I love Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you and Jake both love him. I don't really give a shit about him.
Well, yeah, the reason he is my favorite character is because, I'm not gonna lie, it's because he beat the shit out of Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate Cap, like, at all. I think he's a really cool character.
I like him better in these movies than in the comics.
But, like, the issue I have with Captain America is because he's, like, the national symbol of America in comic form, he doesn't really lose all that often. Yeah. And when he does, it's important. So, like, you know, you see all these movies with Cap doing his Cap thing, and then Winter Soldier, a only slightly superpowered person, just comes and just beats the holy shit out of Cap. Like, that's my all-time favorite Marvel scene, is him just punching Cap in the face and basically defeating him, because you never see that, like, ever.
Yeah.
And then they, you know, gave him his own movie, and, like, Civil War, and you saw all the shit that he had to go through to, you know, be what he is, and then they broke him free of that, and then he goes and hangs out on a Wakandan farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only white guy in that country.
Yeah. Which they actually made a great reference to another white character that hangs out in Wakanda. They called him the White Wolf, which was actually a Marvel character in the comics, who I think he was like Black Panther's like cousin or stepbrother or something like that. Yeah. And they gave him his own like Black Panther powered armor, which was white, and they called him the White Wolf. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So, Star-Lord's mustache.
Yeah. He had one.
Mm-hmm.
Star-Lord was also hilarious in the movie.
Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me? And, Teen Groot. I got a bit of a chuckle out of Teen Groot.
Yeah. He was alright. I'm just kind of jaded towards him, because everybody's like, oh, I love baby Groot and everything, so it's just like,
whatever.
It's one of those things like with Batman, where everyone's like, I love Batman. And it's like, yeah, what's your favorite run of the comics? Who's your favorite artist for the Batman comics?
Can we?
I love Batman.
Can we talk about Batman? I guess indirectly for a second. Like, you've seen Suicide Squad, right?
Nope.
No.
Don't much care about the DC movies.
Suicide Squad was actually pretty good, but
I heard bad things.
It was a entertaining movie. I wouldn't call it good.
I do that's the one I do kind of want to watch because Will Smith.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the only reason.
Will Smith as Deadshot, and you'll also want to watch it for Killer Croc, because Croc is ridiculous. Like, he's so gangster, but he's also a crocodile man.
Yeah.
Like, they're in a bar at one point, and I can't remember who was giving the speech. They're like, yeah, but we're all villains, but, you know, we're all, you know, beautiful, unique people on the inside. Except him. And then points at Croc, and then he, like, pulls his hood back so you can see his face. I think it was Harley Quinn who was giving the speech, and he's just like, shouty, I'm beautiful. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, if you help us solve all this, you know, what do you want as a reward? Because, like, they were all going back to prison. There was no getting out of that. And Croc was just like, I want BET in my cell. But no, Jared Leto's Joker. a lot of people hating on the Leto Joker. Which it upsets me a little bit, because people are holding it to a weird double standard. They're like, oh, he's nothing like, you know, the old Jokers, you know, like the Jack Nicholson or Mark Hamill or Heath Ledger Jokers. But if he tried to do those, they would have been like, oh, he's just ripping off one of those Jokers. Like, it's a no-win situation. He had to do something radically different to distinguish himself from those, and he got in trouble for it, because if he didn't, he would have gotten in trouble for it. I do like the... While I
I don't like how he looks so much, but I do like that it's kind of like a darker take on him.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same way in the new Spider-Man movie. I wish the Vulture would have been like the cannibalistic,
Psycho.
fucking crazy Vulture, as opposed to this.
Michael Keaton in a flight suit.
Which, he was still cool, like, I liked it.
Yeah.
But I do want to see, like, an R-rated Spider-Man with just a cannibalistic, fucking insane Joker.
Yeah, I'm hoping...
Just like Spider-Man stumbling upon him eating a person.
I'm hoping we might get something like that if the Venom movie goes really well.
Which I'm a little worried about it from the trailer.
Yeah?
To be honest. It looks like... It looks like it's going to be very origin story.
Yeah, that's the weird... I was hoping they were going to gloss over the origin story, but they're combining it with, like, War of the Symbiotes and Lethal Protector, which I
thought Carnage was going to be in the movie, and apparently that's going to be, like, an after-credit scene, and it's going to be for Venom 2.
I mean...
Which is... Like, at least we're going to get to see Carnage eventually, but I'm kind of bummed it wasn't just like Venom being Venom, not just like what's his name, and it's just he can't control Venom at all.
Yeah, like if they were gonna go that route, they should have just gone like full blown, like this is only Venom's origin story as opposed to smashing all these other comics together. But like I almost think it's unnecessary. Like everybody should know who Venom is at this point. I mean, he's a lot of people call him Spider-Man's greatest enemy, so like you should know who Eddie Brock is and what the Venom symbiote is just from hearsay at this point.
He's I think Green Goblin is his greatest enemy.
Well, I mean, I'd argue Green Goblin's definitely more famous, but he didn't. I don't think he pushed
like
Spider-Man.
Green Goblin killing Gwen Stacy and everything like that. Like I feel like I don't know, but Venom is definitely right there as well.
Yeah, like
with like Doc Ock.
Yeah,
like a tiny bit below.
Like I don't think, as far as like the original Spider-Man run, I don't know if anyone's pushed Spider-Man to his limits the same way Venom did. Because like when Venom got the symbiote off of Spider-Man, like he instantly knew all there was to know about Spider-Man, plus the fact that he was immune to spider sense. So I'd argue that he might be more dangerous than Green Goblin.
Oh, definitely more dangerous.
But at the same time...
But I just mean with the history and everything.
The Green Goblin had more of an impact on Spider-Man than Venom did, because, like you said, Gwen Stacy and being Harry Osborn's dad, or Harry Osborn, depending on the comic line, I'd say it's a tie. Like, you should know who the fuck these characters are, so... They should have Black Lightning it to be like, here's Venom, doing Venom things. Don't worry about his origin story.
Yeah, it'd be fine if they did a bit of an origin story, just kind of, you know, maybe like 20 minutes or something of like how he got the suit or the symbiote and everything, and then just here he is being Venom, you know, Venoming.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be very, very origin story, and I'm just over the origin story. I just want to see, like, what they did with bringing Spider-Man into the MCU was perfect. Like, obviously, with Spider-Man, like, no one needs an origin story anymore.
No.
But, and so you could argue that Venom being new to everything, they need to explain a bit, but
yeah, and
they don't, like, kind of like what they did with Deadpool, where there was like, you know, about 20 minutes of origin story, maybe a little bit more than that. They could do that with Venom and then just get straight into him, you know, Venoming.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll enjoy the movie, but I don't think I'm gonna like it all that much. Just based on the trailer. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll love it.
Yeah, and it also seems to have almost nothing whatsoever to do with Spider-Man. Like, the symbiote is not...
It doesn't.
Yeah, which...
Because isn't it a Sony movie?
Yeah, and Marvel is either already has or is in the process of reacquiring all of their licenses from Sony. Yeah. Like, they're supposed to bring
with
in...
Disney backing them. They can fucking do whatever they want.
Yeah, they're like trying to bring back the X-Men and shit like that. So I'm hoping with all that, Venom's gonna get into the Marvel universe, even if it's not at all connected to Spidey. Which, if they do that, well, then they absolutely have to redo Spider-Man 3, pretty much. Because the relationship between Venom and Spidey, like, they need to show that,
That's
like...
a huge thing.
Yeah, like, Peter needs to, like, get his internship at the Daily Bugle and then fuck over Eddie Brock somehow, and then Eddie needs to get pissed and come after Spider-Man. And...
Yeah, it's... I feel like with them making this Venom movie, they're already kind of ruining Venom being in the MCU, because after Infinity War, like, Cap and Iron Man are almost definitely gonna die.
Yeah,
Thor is probably gonna take off with the Guardians, and the new Avengers are gonna be like Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, like
Captain Marvel.
Black Panther. Oh, it's Halen.
Nice.
Weird.
But yeah, that they're also bringing in Captain Marvel, which makes me happy.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
I don't know that. I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with that one too, because, like you said, I'm pretty sure it was Captain Marvel who got the gauntlet and reset the universe. I think it's been probably more than 10 years since I read that comic line. I think it's either going to have to be Tony or Cap who does that, and then they have to be like, oh, well, if you do this, you know, you're dead for good. There's no coming back from it, which is how Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are going to get out of the MCU.
Yeah, because Chris Hemsworth has said that, like, he'll play Thor forever.
Yeah.
So
He'll Ryan Reynolds it.
yeah.
Which, by the way, Deadpool 2 coming out soon.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah, dude, I saw a great video of, like, I don't know how it happened, but it was Hugh Jackman trying to wish someone a happy birthday, like, over the internet with a video, and Deadpool was just lounging on his bed in the background, just Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool suit, just, like, singing ridiculous songs, and Hugh Jackman's like, no, you don't want to give him attention, that's the last thing he needs. And then the final line was Deadpool singing "Who Let the Dogs Out?" And he's like, "Who let him out? No one ever solved that mystery." But if they bring in the new Avengers, I hope they do a Dark Avengers run with Venom and Green Goblin and shit like that. Like, I would love to see New Avengers versus Dark Avengers.
They're not gonna do that.
Probably not, but like I can fantasize. I can hope.
It'd be cool, and you know, if they... Thing is, like, that wouldn't... The reason they won't do that is that wouldn't appeal as much.
Yeah.
Like, Suicide Squad didn't do all that well.
Which is sad, because I thought it... Like I said, it wasn't good, but it was entertaining. Like, if Will Smith just wants to play more Deadshot, I'm okay with that.
Let's just bring Will Smith into the MCU as Will Smith.
I mean, that'd also be cool.
And he'll just...
I mean, shit, Jeff Goldblum's already there.
Hell yeah. Wait, isn't he dead? Did he die?
I
don't remember.
He, I think he was, like, kidnapped or something at the end of the
He got put into the... He got chipped.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I got taken by the people.
Yeah.
They were all sick of him. But,
yeah, more Jeff Goldblum. That would be good.
Yeah, there should be more Jeff Goldblum in just everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, every second of every day. There should, like, if we could just have Jeff Goldblum sat on that stool.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't be in the podcast. He'd just be there.
He should do his Ian Malcolm laugh a couple of times.
Yeah.
Which, that ran across my YouTube feed the other day, and I was so happy. That techno remix of his laugh.
Oh, man.
Guys, apparently Jeff Goldblum loves Jeff Goldblum impersonations. Like, he just gets a kick out of them. Like, people are...
I can see how that'd be funny.
Yeah, like, constantly, like, you know, doing his ridiculous laugh.
Yeah.
Like, man, Jeff Goldblum in the upcoming Jurassic World as Ian Malcolm.
You know, I haven't even watched the trailer for that yet.
Yeah, he's in it, and he rehashes his old line about life finding a way.
Life, finds a way.
Speaking of that, I was playing Monster Hunter World the other day, and like you can set your own like custom little messages for when things happen, and somebody put that in there as their death quote.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, we were fighting. It was one of the Elder Dragons because the Devil May Cry tie-in dropped a little while ago where you can get Dante's outfit and his sword and all that. And this is what pisses me off about Monster Hunter. I've been fighting the same monster for like 4 hours a day, every day, trying to get a rare drop so I can complete that set.
Yeah.
Still hasn't happened, but the Elder Dragon, he ate one of my teammates. And, yeah, that popped up on my screen. Life, finds a way. And I sent that person a message in her friend request. I'm like, dude, I love your Jeff Goldblum quote.
Yeah, well, what do you think about going and getting another one of these? I'll buy this time.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to... Like, I feel like I had more to talk about, and now I'm drawing a blank.
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I mean,
One other thing I was disappointed at in Avengers, absolutely no mention of Adam Warlock.
yeah.
And
He's just not gonna be in it, it seems like.
I mean, he is. Like, he's the one who killed Thanos, and I think they confirmed they're bringing him for the second Avengers movie.
Is he gonna show up?
I think so. Like, they threw me for a loop on that one. Like, when Thanos was looking for the Soul Stone. Like, at the end of, I think it was Guardians 2, where all the gold people had that pod, and they're like, we're going to call him Adam. And it had that yellow glow at the top. I thought that was where the Soul Stone was going to be. Like, I really did, because it was the proper color, and I'm like, you know, they're building Adam Warlock, using the stone. Like, it all made sense, and then Thanos, you know, had to go.
Until it didn't.
Yeah, Thanos had to go and kill Gamora to get the Soul Stone. I'm like, well, that was kind of a lame thing. Like, that would have made sense if, like, I didn't think Thanos was going to get all the stones in this one movie.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I really didn't. I'm like, all right, the second movie is going to be about them waking up Adam Warlock, who has the power of the Soul Stone, to go, you know, fuck Thanos over. And it kind of didn't happen, and I was a little sad, because I really like Adam Warlock. I think he's a cool character.
Yeah, his name's pretty lame.
I mean, well, whatever.
I'm Adam Warlock?
Yeah, but kind of sad about that, but whatever. Still a great movie. Not enough Winter Soldier. And shit, man, we didn't even mention fucking Doctor Strange's magic off against Thanos. I thought that was awesome. Speaking of Benedict Cumberbatch, my wife's trying to call me. Hello? What's up? Yes. I was supposed to text you?
He was supposed to text her, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
No. No, I didn't. I did not get a text, I'm sorry. I did not get the message. Did you need something?
I think he's in trouble. Yep. His wife is divorcing him.
Nope.
She's
we're
pregnant with
good.
his child, and she's divorcing him.
That is false.
And also,
I love you, hon.
she's currently sexing another man.
Anyways, Adam Warlock.
Not true. I mean, we are working on a kid, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
so.
they've only got like a foot so far.
Yeah, my child is actually going to be Adam Warlock. I'm attempting to build him out of scrap parts in my garage.
We'll name him Adam.
Like, I need to go fight Thanos to get the Soul Stone so I can finish construction on that.
No, we gotta pick up those 2x4s for him too, huh?
Yeah, those 2x4s and the Soul Stone. I mean, that's how you build a child, right? We're going to assemble it all, and then we're going to stick it in the oven for 9 months at 98.6 degrees, and when the timer goes off, there will be a child there.
Yes. You simply remove it. It's very simple.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't be easier.
No,
I don't know why.
No pain to the host
Yeah.
of
Because...
this parasite.
no, it's... Yeah, kids. Great. Fucking fantastic.
Wow. What do you think about going and getting a sandwich?
I think I'm okay with that. We'll talk a little bit more while I finish this, I guess.
Alright.
Because, yeah, shit.
So we totally didn't cut down a bunch of trees in my yard yesterday.
Yeah.
They just happened to fall over on their own. Because we're inside of city limits, so it would be illegal if we were to cut them down.
Yeah.
So we didn't cut them down. They just fell down. They happened to fall down. And I guess some of them fell on me, and that's why I'm sore.
Mm.
But yeah, I had a lovely little fire yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Something else we forgot to talk about. Fucking Solo movie coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I have never seen the Millennium Falcon look so clean.
Yeah, looked good.
Like, damn.
Not all scuffed up.
Yep. And Chewbacca. Lots of Chewbacca in that movie, it appears.
Oh, yeah.
I hope we get the origin story of, how those two met.
Yeah, that... I think from the trailer... It's been a while since I watched the trailer, but it looked like they teased at an origin story on how they met.
I think so. In the now non-canon extended universe, like, Solo got kicked out of the Imperial Navy because he saved Chewbacca. I hope we could see a bit of that, because I think in the trailer we see him going to, like, get recruited into the Empire, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we see that guy, like, asking him questions like, what's your name? What do you want to do? And he's like, yeah, I'm a pilot. My name's Solo. And all that. And Childish Gambino as Lando looks just godlike.
It's amazing.
Just killing it. And Woody Harrelson being somebody.
Yeah.
Because the world needs more Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he fucked his stepdaughter.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
But, the world needs more him and more Yondu, even though Yondu's dead.
Yeah.
Like, I hope Yondu gets resurrected by the Infinity Gauntlet, because I want more Yondu.
He won't.
He's Mary Poppins, y'all.
He's way too... Yeah. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Skinny. Good for thieving.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more Yondu and more Drax.
Yeah.
How long have you been standing there? An hour.
Yeah. I want to hate Drax in the MCU, but I just can't.
Yeah,
he's too funny.
He's too good.
Like...
Oh, hi, Drax. Damn it.
Just... Like we said, nothing like in the comics.
And
but
I think he's better for it.
Which is what makes me want to hate him. But he's just fucking hilarious. Yeah. How long you been standing there? An hour.
My movements are almost imperceptible. You're eating a Zarg nut. Yeah,
Lap myself into oblivion.
More Drax, more Rocket hanging out with Winter Soldier. How much for the gun? It's not for sale. What about the arm? I'm gonna get that arm.
Yeah.
I happen to have this eye. Where'd you get it? Oh, I got it off this guy in wherever. He's like, oh, well, no, I actually snuck into his room and stole it. But you might want to wash it first. I had to smuggle it out in my... Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy in general are just so silly, and it makes me so happy.
It's really good.
Like, I love Chris Pratt, but I really think that Star-Lord should have been played by the guy who voices him, a.k.a. Eric Matthews.
Yes.
Just saying.
I'm on the fence about that one. I want to agree with you, but I don't think I can.
Well, if they were going the super goofball route, they should have gone with Will Friedle.
If you would have said Jim Carrey, then yeah, I'd agree. But
well, I mean,
he could have been an aging Star-Lord.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Carrey should just be in the MCU anyway as Jim Carrey, just like Will Smith should be there as Will Smith.
Yeah.
But speaking of goofball things, since I still have like half of this to go, I did mention Legends of Tomorrow. I think you will really like that show. Like, I know you're not big on DC and you really don't like The Flash.
Well, I like The Flash as a character, but
yeah,
I don't like the show.
The CW show. You should watch Legends of Tomorrow.
Why's that?
Because out of all the DC shows, it's the one that doesn't take itself seriously at all. And it's better for it. Like, it starts out kind of serious. It's all these characters go with Rory from Doctor Who to travel through time. And it starts out kind of serious because there's like those arguments like, well, why can't I just go back in time and save my family? Because you'll break time, which eventually they do. But then in the second and third seasons, man, it just becomes a goof fest, and it's great. Like, have you watched like all of The Flash or a good portion of it? Okay.
No, I watched a couple of episodes and was like, can't do it.
Oh, well,
Too bad.
There's these two characters, Captain Cold and Heatwave. And Heatwave eventually goes off with the Legends, and he's a bad guy. He's a pyromaniac who likes burning things, and he's like this super serious, grouchy character who just likes killing people.
He's Vegeta.
Yeah, he's Vegeta. And then when he starts hanging out with the Legends, he mellows out a bit and just becomes ridiculous. Like, he's always serious, and that's what makes him so funny. Like, there's an episode in the 3rd season where fucking vampires happen because they broke time. And they there's this vampire in old England and we gotta go find it. And he just reaches behind himself and pulls out a wooden stake. And they're like, do you just carry that around wherever you go? And he's like, yeah, I always keep it on me. And then there's a scene where their fucking time ship is crashing and he's just kicked back in a chair reading Bram Stoker's Dracula, just ignoring everything that's going on around him. And then they go back in time to help out a kid version of one of their teammates, and it happens to be Halloween, so they decide to go trick-or-treating with him. And they're like, who are you? Like, these bullies that were beaten up on, they're like, we're the Legends of Tomorrow. And he just pulls out his flamethrower and points it at the kids, like, give me all the candy and your allowance. It's great. They're all fucking goofballs. There's this other guy called Firestorm, which is actually 2 people, and they fusion Ha into one superhero. And one's a very old, proper white man who couldn't be any more proper unless he was English. And the other's like a black kid from the streets.
Yeah.
And they switch bodies at one point. So you got the black kid talking like this old, proper white man, and the old white man talking like a young black kid. And it's silly as fuck. Just skip the Arrow, skip the Flash, go watch Legends of Tomorrow. It's such a fun show.
What's it on?
Netflix.
Yeah. May give that a go.
Yeah, of all the DC shows, I'd recommend that and Black Lightning is top tier.
Yeah, I still haven't watched, what was it? The Revengers? Is that the one? Wait, what's the one with, Luke Cage and...
Oh, The Defenders.
Yeah, The Defenders, that's it.
Also a good show. It's better than Luke Cage, better than Iron Fist.
I liked Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. A lot of people didn't like it all that much. Well, and a lot of people were like, he's a fucking culture vulture or whatever. Like,
the reason they...
Fuck off.
The one thing I didn't like about Iron Fist was they did his character kind of wrong. Like, it makes sense in the context why he would end up the way he did, but he's supposed to be like a very Zen martial artist kind of guy because you know he was raised by monks, and in the comics he's a really well-adjusted guy, whereas in this one, like, you know, he doesn't get
prone to fits of rage and shit like that.
He's kind of a child, but which also makes sense because, you know, he didn't live in the big city with all this money and shit, so he doesn't know how to function in that society, and it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense if you compare it to his comic counterpart, and it's still an origin story. He's still figuring all this shit out, so that's what I didn't like about it. Like, he didn't understand how to react to certain situations like he should have from the comics, but the comics and the show also make sense in their own way, so I won't hate on it too much. I get it. I just wish they would have gone the other route.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Iron Fist, but I don't know. All those shows, like, I really liked Daredevil, but at the same time, all those Marvel shows, I've probably said it before, but they just have so many big gaps of just fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Where it just feels like you're getting nowhere, and they're just, I don't know, it just feels like so much wasted time.
Yeah, Jessica Jones, thankfully, averted that. Like, there's...
Yeah, I need to watch that one. I've heard
it's
the best of the Marvel shows.
Yeah, I mean, next to the Punisher, but the Punisher is just...
The
Punisher is just the Punisher punishing people, so...
Yeah.
That you don't really need much more than that.
Spanking them and putting them in the corner.
Yeah, or killing them, but, you know, that...
mercilessly slaughtering hundreds.
Yeah, but, like, Jessica Jones, you could also say it wastes a lot of time, but it's a little... It makes sense because she's dealing with, like, a lot of shit. Like, the freaking, you know, Doctor Who basically mind raped her. Yeah. So she's like
Well, didn't he actually rape her as well?
I don't know if they actually say that in the show, but he made her do a lot of stuff that she didn't want to do. Like, she killed Luke Cage's wife because he made her do that. So it's her dealing with, like, PTSD, and she's, like, a barely functioning alcoholic, so... A lot of the times when she's not beating the crap out of criminals and helping other people, it's her dealing with her issues, which her issues make sense. Whereas Luke Cage was just kind of like, yeah, I'm Luke Cage, and I'm Luke Caging.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you should be, punching people into submission and deflecting.
And instead, you're sweeping up hair at a barbershop for half the show.
Yeah, it's that was done wrong.
Woo! Here comes the hail again.
Yep. But yeah, I think.
That's gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Well, you also have that, so I might as well have one more and try to talk about other things. I'm trying to think of anything we didn't really mention. We didn't delve deep into Thanos' character, which I think there's enough time with these to do that. Like, we mentioned he's not megalomaniacal like he is in the comics.
He's very,
soft-spoken and kind of chill and humble, which I liked given... Damn it, come on. Given that he wasn't trying to bang the literal personification of death, I don't think it would have gone over well if he was like megalomaniacal, like, I'm wiping out half the universe because I fucking feel like it! Ha ha ha!
yeah.
It wouldn't have worked, so the fact that he was very chill, kind of humble, and almost in a weird way trying to be a good dad to Gamora?
Yeah, till he killed her.
Yeah, and even then he's like, I don't want to kill my daughter, but I have to because nobody else is going to fix the fucking universe, so I guess I have to do it.
Fine then. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I really liked that portrayal of Thanos.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I went home and played a team of Thanos and Gamora in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite after that movie. Just because, Also, I think something that was a very obscure reference to Marvel vs. Capcom 1 was him turning things into bubbles. Because in MVC 1, like, he was a playable character, like, he was the final boss, but that's all he did was throw bubble projectiles at everybody or trap them in bubbles. I'm like, I don't know if that was a deliberate reference, but I saw him turning a bunch of shit into bubbles, and I'm like, are they Marvel vs. Capcom wanting this shit?
Did he do that in the comics at all?
I
don't remember.
I think he did stuff involving bubble-like attacks, like throwing, bubble projectiles at people. But I don't think he turned Star-Lord's pistol into a bubble gun.
Yeah.
Or knives into bubbles.
Oof.
But
Yeah, from not chopping down those trees yesterday.
I mean, shoving those trees over, that puts a lot of strain on your wrist,
Yeah, they mostly just fell over on their own. So
Yeah.
even my hands are sore.
Axes are not the best way to chop down a tree, just a random fact.
Well, I mean,
not pertaining to anything.
Kratos does that in the first minute of God of War. Chops
Yeah.
down a tree.
But he's a god of war.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I think
but to me,
that
man.
that right there was the one issue I had with God of War is you see Kratos pull off all of these insane fits of strength.
And then it took him several swings to bring down a tree.
That and he just wasn't one-shotting everyone in combat. Like, he literally flips a fucking temple upside down with his bare hands. But it takes 10 to 20 chops or punches to kill off a basic enemy.
Yeah.
Like, I get gameplay and story segregation, but if he's flipping temples and, like, tossing giants around, he shouldn't be having as much trouble as he did.
Yeah.
It was a thing. Like, I don't want to call it bad storytelling, because it wasn't, but it's like, why doesn't he just punch the world?
Yeah. It's, obviously just for gameplay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, on God of War difficulty, the first enemy you take on shouldn't take 50 swings of an axe to bring down, and that's overstating things. I haven't played it on God of War difficulty, but I've seen people play it on God of War difficulty. That, man, there's no achievement tied to beating that game on a certain difficulty. Why the fuck would you play on God of War difficulty?
yeah. I guess if you just really love the game and
I mean, I really love the game, but
really want, I don't know.
I'm not gonna play it on God of War difficulty. Fuck that noise. Hard difficulty was bad enough. Shit. Yeah, good game. I recommend it. Like, I could not recommend it more. I mean, I could if I was being paid, but I'm not, because Sony's not sponsoring the podcast. But, yeah, man, that game's dope.
Kenny was over the other night, and he was wanting to play some Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
And Matt, foolishly, new roommate, said that he'd kick our asses at Mario Kart. He was very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've literally played thousands of hours of Mario Kart 64. When it comes down to, like, me, Chris, Blake, the Stews, like, it really just comes down to a little bit of strategy, but mainly just items, because we're all perfect at the game. Like,
yeah.
Anytime we've ever, like, had a beach fire and random people showed up and we're like, oh, we're gonna go home and play Mario Kart now, and they're like, oh, I'll beat your guys' ass at Mario Kart. It's like, yeah, come on, little guy, let's go.
Yeah, that's like somebody saying they're gonna beat my ass at Marvel vs. Capcom. It's not gonna happen. Not with the group of friends I have.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, anyone. There's no one that's going to, like, even be on our level. We've done way too much of it. Like, far, far too much of it. So Matt got humbled that night.
Yeah.
But because Kenny's not great at it, but he's
experienced.
He's above average.
Yeah.
He's just not on like a me, Chris, Stews level.
Yeah, I've actually been training in Dragon Ball FighterZ to someday have another rematch against Blake.
Yeah.
Because we came out pretty even that one time I went over to his house and played a couple of rounds against him. But, man, that game, I thought I was good when it came out, but there's so many weird hidden mechanics that you need to know about to be, like, a pro at that game.
Yeah.
And I've actually been, like, deep delving into, like, that kind of shit. Like, you can be passable at that game just by button mashing pretty much, but if you come up against somebody who knows their shit...
Especially if they also know that you're just button mashing and don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're button mashing and you're coming up against someone who knows what they're doing, they will easily punish you for button mashing just with a simple teleport counterattack.
Hi, Chrissy. What are you doing, you pup? Are you a dog?
Yeah, she's a dog.
Yeah, it turns out.
She thought she was a person. She's a dog. Oh, I should also give a shout out to my friend Ulrich, who had his kid.
Oh, did they?
They did. And,
gross.
I mean, it's a baby, so naturally I'm not going to like it that much. But, you know, good on them for, having that kid. And they're never sleeping again. I think they've just resigned themselves to that fact.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to be calling that kid the Skeleton King because his name is Leoric. Like, I was kind of, like, no offense to them, I was kind of hoping they were going to go with a normal name. I should have known better, knowing those two as I do.
Yeah, Leoric isn't bad.
No.
For a name. When people, like, name their daughter, like, Khaleesi, Daenerys, like, shit like that, it's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to ever have a son, I'd name him Ashley, because of course.
Yeah. Because, you know, Bruce Campbell and Pokemon.
Ashley J. Williams Holloway. And, you know, that'd just be that.
I mean, even that's a fairly normal name. Ashley can be a dude's name.
Yeah, it's not common at all, but...
No.
You know, name him after one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But, that said, never having a kid.
Yeah, so
If we do have one, he's going in the dumpster. He's going to be a dumpster baby.
That's fucked up. No, we've established that when I have a kid, we're giving it a fairly normal name. Like, I'm gonna name it Max because I love Mad Max, but Max is a normal name.
Yeah, even if it can go both ways, girl or boy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it pretty much, if it's a son, I'm responsible for naming it, but if it's a daughter, I don't know any good daughter names, so that'll be on the wife.
Yeah.
And even, I know she'll name it something normal, too, because she gets as fed up with weird names as I do.
Yeah. I had something to say, and it's gone now. Names, children.
Yeah.
Dumpster babies.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna call their kid the Skeleton King because like they didn't spell it the same. They spelled it Leoryk, which is also fine. Like even if you don't want to call him the Skeleton King, you can call him Leo, which is also a fairly normal name.
Yeah.
I don't know about the middle name. I don't know what Tavarius means, but
well, that one's annoying.
Like that, I'm not calling him that anyway.
That one's a bit extra.
He's like I walked into their house on Sunday for our D&D session, and you know, she was sitting there holding the baby. I'm like, yes, the young Skeleton King, and she didn't get mad about it. So that kid is now the Skeleton King.
Yeah. No, what I was gonna say, I've never met a girl. Like I'm sure they're out there, but I've never met a girl who has a dude's name like Alex or something like that who wasn't just hot as fuck. So you know, if you name your daughter Max, I'm sure she'll be very attractive. It just by my track record of meeting.
If you name it Max, it could either be Maximilian or Maxine. Either one.
Yeah.
It's a nice gender neutral name in this politically charged climate we live in. Like I wanted to name him after 2 Mel Gibson characters. I was gonna name him Maximilian Riggs, but she's like, that might be a bit too much. I'm like, wait, you don't want
Maximilian Jesus Gunter?
Oh, dude, I might have pissed my wife off earlier. We were having a talk
When
about.
she called?
No, we were having a talk about religion because that's a fun thing, and I'm like, you know, I like with all of God's infinite creativity, he kind of built a shitty container for the human soul. He might be a piss poor engineer, and she's just like, ugh, and rolled her eyes. So I might have made her a bit mad on that one. Yeah, fun stuff. But now I'm done. We're going to go get a sandwich, and we're going to play some fucking video games.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Happy Cinco de Cuatro. I don't remember.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yeah, Cinco?
Wait, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yeah, happy Cinco de Cinco.
May is the 5th month, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Tomorrow is Revenge of the 6th, which is my preferred Star Wars holiday.
Yeah.
Because the Sith are just better than Jedi.
Have to agree to disagree.
Well, that's fair, but, you know.
Alright. Well, donate to his Patreon, lick his penis, grab his finger and put it in your butt. Doesn't matter which one, any of them. He likes, really, if you can get his old fist in there, that's what's going to make him the happiest.
Yeah,
so.
I'll just Falcon punch it right up in there, you know, if you're in
Pound!
Falcon punch! I still love Snake's comment on that from, was it Brawl is the one Snake was in first?
Yeah.
You call Otacon when you're coming up against Captain Falcon, they're like, we should do that thing we want to do. Falcon punch! Good stuff. I want more Smash. Speaking of that, I dug up my PlayStation All-Stars disc, and I played a bit of that.
Right.
It's a less good Smash on the PlayStation, because I don't have a Nintendo console.
Righto.
Yep.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode.
Yep. Sandwich time.
Sandwich o'clock.